So, my assistant told me, "You know he wants to hang out with you next week." I asked, "For what?" And he said, "I think he is trying to." That is what my assistant told me, and I just replied, "Oh." Then, 50 Cent shared some behind-the-scenes footage that Terrence Howard supposedly sent him. The footage is all about Diddy's so-called freakoffs, and Terrence is finally sharing everything. The news is really hot right now. For years, Terrence has hinted that he knows some things, but now he is telling all of it. He has been saying he has some serious secrets to reveal. Terrence Howard got pushed out of the industry because he refused to play along with some of the shady stuff happening behind the scenes. But now, with all these new claims about Diddy, it feels like the truth is finally coming out. People are starting to see who is really in charge behind those fancy doors. And let us be honest, Diddy is not the only person getting dragged into all this. Terrence did not stop there. He also threw some serious shade at Diddy's supposed fling, Young Miami. The word is that she was involved in those crazy parties too, but what really got people talking is what Terrence says he caught her doing. On camera. Let us just say it is way crazier than anyone thought. This is not your usual gossip from the industry. This is about to cause some serious drama. What makes it even crazier is that Terrence shared all this without anyone even asking. No one knew he had proof on Diddy, and then, out of nowhere, he sat down on a podcast and just let everything out. The way he told the story, his experience matches everything that is happening way too perfectly. There have been whispers about Diddy for years, so let us talk about the next layer of craziness. People have been saying a lot about shady setups and uncomfortable situations. Did Diddy ever invite you to something like that, and you said no? Oh, absolutely. What happened when you said no? Well, Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and be his acting coach for a while. So I finally went. When I got there, he was just sitting there looking at me. I said, "Okay, what is the material you want me to work on?" Producers sometimes come up to you in certain ways, and you may feel like you want to punch them in the mouth or knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you are a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you should expect a real response back. Terrence Howard says he saw this happen. According to him, Diddy reached out, asking for help with acting, but the vibe did not match what was promised. Let's be honest, Diddy has done some acting, but nothing big enough that would require a professional like Terrence Howard to teach him. Still, Terrence showed up, thinking it was just a business meeting. But when he arrived, the energy changed quickly. Diddy allegedly started acting differently, as if he had a different plan behind that invitation. Terrence did not put up with it. He made it clear that he does not play those kinds of games, shut the situation down right away, and left without any questions. But it did not end there. Terrence went even further and claimed that he was not the only one Diddy allegedly tried to get close to like that. According to him, every man who has been to one of Diddy's famous parties has had something happen. And let us just say, it was not your usual party vibe. He even said that these guys lost their manhood at those wild events. This was not an innocent gathering. It sounded very suspicious behind those party doors. And what is even more disturbing is that this is not the first time Terrence has called out this kind of behavior in Hollywood. Terrence Howard has made it clear that he has seen this happen before. Been saying it loud for a while now. He got pushed out the game, not because of a career slump, but because he refused to play by Hollywood's twisted rulebook. A few years back, he opened up about what really made him walk away from acting, and it had nothing to do with being tired or not landing roles. Nah, he straight up said Hollywood was trying to strip him of his manhood once he stood his ground and said no to their shady ways. That's when the whispers started. People began treating him like the issue, labeling him difficult, and trying to flip the narrative, just like what they've done to countless women in the industry who dared to speak out, same blueprint, different target. So when Terrence announced his retirement from acting back in December 2022, it came out of nowhere, folks. We're stunned. He was still booking major roles. His fan base was strong and everything looked solid from the outside. No public drama, no scandal, no beef with studios, just a clean exit, or so it seemed. But Terrence claimed the truth was hiding behind the curtain. According to him, they were putting him in situations that made him uncomfortable, like trying to test how far he'd go to keep working. And when he wouldn't fold, they started slowly edging him out. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that being a man, Terrence Howard said, They tried to hit him where it hurt his manhood, and when he stood tall and pushed back, Hollywood didn't like that. One bit before anyone knew it, he was out just like that quiet exit. No fireworks, just gone. He did eventually step out of retirement, but ever since he's been moving real cautious now that he's back in the spotlight. Terrence isn't biting his tongue. Anymore, he's been pulling the curtain back, calling out what he says is the dark, shady side of the entertainment industry. One of the biggest things he keeps bringing up, the constant pressure he felt to wear a dress on screen. Something he says he was never going for. According to Terrence, those roles had nothing to do with the plot. It wasn't about the art. It felt like a setup to humiliate him or slowly chip away at his masculinity. He stood 10 toes down and said, "No. Honestly, it's not just him. This ain't some new rumor either. Over the years, a bunch of black male actors have come forward saying the same exact thing, that producers tried to slide in dress-wearing scenes that made no sense to the storyline comedian." Cat Williams even went off about this in an interview with Club Shay Shay. He said Hollywood's been playing this game for a while, and the pressure to act feminine or wear a dress often comes with some very tempting checks. But Cat kept it solid. He revealed that he turned down some major money more than once to protect his integrity. According to him, that pressure to give up your image for a check way more common than folks realize. And Terrence, he's just the latest to say he ain't going for it when the buzz around Cat Williams' interview started shaking the internet. Terrence Howard didn't waste a second. He jumped in with his own truth and what he had to say. It hit hard, y'all. Remember the whispers, right, folks? Saying Terrence got fired because of his so-called bad temper, or claiming he was just too tough to work with. That was the word on the street for years. But once Cat started exposing how deep things go in Hollywood, Terrence stepped up to shut that whole narrative down. He made it clear he didn't get replaced because he was a problem on set. He got replaced because he stood his ground. He wasn't about to let the industry clown him or take away his pride. And in his words, that's exactly why they cut him loose. Terrence dropped a powerful quote my daddy taught me. "Never take the vertebrae out your back or the base out your throat. I ain't raised no sheep, I raised men. Stay a man." Then he added, "Being a man comes with a curse now because this society ain't built for real men anymore. Everything's androgynous the more successful men are nowadays and the more soft they look." And he didn't stop there. In another interview, Terrence doubled down, saying, "There's been a secret push to strip masculinity away from strong black men because real strength is seen as a threat." He claimed, "The man has been demonized with the new formula. Most men are made to be effeminate, to lose their power and forget their strength." Terrence Howard didn't hold back when he said, "They let white men be strong, but when it's a black man standing tall, suddenly it's a threat." He wasn't about to shrink himself just to fit into someone else's script. He added, "I'm not removing any part of myself just to make your story work. Maybe it's your story that needs to grow." According to him, men should be allowed to stand in their strength and appreciate a woman's beauty at the same time period. And with all the heat he's been bringing lately, or especially with these wild claims about Diddy, fans have started connecting the dots. And honestly, it's starting to make a whole lot of sense, but trust, that's not the end of it. Word on the street from insiders is that Terrence is still holding back even more explosive dirt stuff that might be way more damaging than anything he's already spilled. And guess who's right in the middle of it? Diddy's rumored side piece, Young Miami, after Terrence's interview went viral. 50 Cent initially tried to keep his distance. He posted no comment. "I'm staying positive, God help us all." But now seems like he's switching lanes because suddenly he's teasing some wild claims about a certain freakoff video. Reports say that Terrence allegedly filmed the footage himself at one of those infamous parties he attended. And what's in it, allegedly, it shows Young Miami caught up in a situation that's got people raising eyebrows left and right. At this point, it ain't even shocking. The street's been whispering for a minute that city girl Young Miami knows way more than she's letting on, and not just as a bystander. Folks are saying she might have been deep in it. Not a victim, but allegedly a conspirator in those freak-offs. And there's receipts that make people raise their eyebrows. For example, when Diddy's other rumored side piece, Gina Hohen, posted a picture of her and Diddy Young Miami reportedly went off, and it was not just a little shade. She came at full force, allegedly threatening to make Diddy force Gina into one of those wild parties as payback. The messages that started to spread were harsh. Miami supposedly said things like, "Gina, you have been struggling ever since I came into the picture. You have been crying about wanting a baby for 15 years, just hanging around as a placeholder. Diddy and the EP only gave you small pieces when they felt like it. You are just a person who eats." She did not stop there. She went on to say, "You are the same person who cried to Tasha K about wanting a baby. Poor Sushi, I have a career, and you are a certified freak. You have not heard from Diddy since the awards. You are the one talking about getting rid of babies. Let that go, hun. Then came the wildest line. If I wanted you to eat me, Diddy, would have had you on your knees just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. It got even crazier as she added, because Pete Diddy wants to party, and you have to tell him no. You have to tell him no. I did. I have the proof for everything I am telling you. That is when she dropped the line that had the whole internet spinning. It went like this. Can I just say, early on, you accused me of being something. You would have been more than just a munch, not just a munch. That line got people talking, but it was not even the messiest part. Young Miami's name, reportedly, came up again when another one of Diddy's rumored side pieces ended up pregnant. According to reports, she was bullied into silence. Court documents from an anonymous woman, referred to as Jane Doe, claim she was forced to take unknown substances inside. According to the court filing in July 2022, Jane Doe traveled to Diddy's mansion in Los Angeles at his request. While she was there, she was forced to take something that she did not recognize. Later, she discovered that the substance, which allegedly contained ketamine or something similar, caused her to black out and lose consciousness throughout the night. She made it clear that she never agreed to take anything like that. What happened next was deeply disturbing. She said that when she regained consciousness, she woke up bruised and hurt, with clear signs that something terrible had happened while she was out. She explained that Diddy would have her perform for him, then give her drinks and drugs until she passed out. When she woke up, she had no idea what had happened, but she was covered in bruises. This did not happen just once. She claimed that this pattern continued all the way up until July 2024. But things got even worse. She eventually discovered that she was pregnant, allegedly with Diddy's child. That is when everything started to spiral out of control. Jane Doe said that Young Miami allegedly began harassing her and pushing her toward a miscarriage. The bullying became so intense that she believes it caused her to lose the baby. According to the legal documents, Jane Doe took a pregnancy test, which came back positive, and she told Diddy. That is when the pressure really started. Carrie Brownlee, a known associate of Diddy, allegedly harassed her nonstop, telling her to get rid of the baby. Jane Doe said that she lost the baby not long after, and she never spoke to Diddy or anyone from his team again. For nearly 3 months now, things have been getting even more complicated. Here is where it gets even crazier. Carrie Brownlee, who is known as Young Miami from City Girls, is involved. Based on her past behavior, fans are not finding it difficult to believe, especially after she completely lost control when Diddy had a baby with another woman in 2022. And just when you thought the drama could not get any worse, here comes Lily. Rod's lawsuit, which brings everything to a whole new level. In this updated filing, he did not only accuse Diddy, but he also made some very disturbing claims about Young Miami. According to the lawsuit, Young Miami was not just a guest at those famous parties. She was allegedly deeply involved, and the claims even say that her family was mixed up in it. Lil Rod said that Young Miami acted as a silent witness to everything that was happening behind closed doors. But it gets even darker. He pointed out one particular incident that shocked everyone. In this event, Diddy was allegedly drunk and offered cocaine to Lil Rod, who turned it down and went to the bathroom. That is when things took a wild turn. According to the court documents, Young Miami's cousin suddenly entered the bathroom, started groping Mr. Jones, then dropped to her knees and began performing an unwanted act on him. Mr. Jones quickly pushed her away and left the bathroom, but the situation did not end there. He claimed that Young Miami's cousin followed him, undressed herself, and tried to force an encounter with him in front of Diddy and his staff. The documents say that this was not a one-time thing, but part of a disturbing pattern. On another shocking occasion, on Thanksgiving night 2022 in Miami, Mr. Jones claimed that Diddy asked him and another man, Forrest Taylor, to meet him in a studio bathroom. Diddy allegedly asked for a $100 bill so they could do cocaine together. Mr. Jones said he was terrified and only avoided the situation because he did not have the money. But Diddy did not stop there. A little later, he reportedly repeated the same behavior with Young Miami. Just when you thought the drama could not get any worse, Terrence Howard's involvement only made everything even more intense. The bombshells just keep coming. One of the biggest claims yet is that Young Miami allegedly helped Diddy move substances and deliver them to him wherever he went. According to court papers, during rehearsals for the Something in the Water festival in Virginia, Mr. Jones says he saw Diddy doing lines of cocaine in his dressing room. But it gets even worse. The documents say that Diddy wanted something, but his assistant Brendan forgot to bring it. Guess who allegedly stepped in to solve the problem? Christina Kororm reportedly arranged for someone to fly it in from Miami. This shows just how serious the situation really was. But there is more. The lawsuit claims that Young Miami was not just a guest at the parties. The documents say she, along with Jade and Daphne Joy, was allegedly paid a monthly fee to be private entertainers for Diddy. The money was reportedly sent directly from Robin Greenhill, and the papers say this was all part of an ongoing illegal operation. The connections between Young Miami and Diddy are really starting to add up now. Now 50 Cent allegedly has videos of her, caught in 4K. He is definitely the last person you want holding such evidence. He thrives on chaos and loves to cause drama. With the long history of beef between 50 and Diddy, it is only a matter of time before 50 drops something that completely changes the story. Terrence Howard might really be onto something here. If 50 posts that video, it could be game over. What do you think about Young Miami being dragged back into the spotlight because of Terrence's claims turn?